he was able to slow down Covington in certain dimensions and catch up to him. It was a terrific fight. The thing I want to point out also is that you get these kind of fights more often than not. I'm not saying standing up all the time.
Yeah.
This fight really struck me that these guys just stood up. But you get these fights more often than not. It's not by accident when it comes to UFC because of Dana White. And I know he's a dictator, and I'm not saying that it's kind of hard not to say it in a bad way when you say dictator, but I'm not saying it in a bad way because he's not killing people. He's not doing that. It's just that he's running his company the way he wants to run it, and he's got some special guys that stand out. You know, they get a little bit more favors like McGregor. You know,
Yep.
but he insists that you're in a competitive fight. 80% of the time in boxing, it's an A against a B.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too big a number, Ken. 80% of the time, it's an A against a B. One guy's going to win, the other guy's probably not going to win. We know it. At 20% of the time in my sport, our sport, only 20% of the time is it that kind of competitive fight.
Yeah.
It's because of the nature of the game, because you got a few power brokers and they all have their little pieces of land. They don't give a crap about the rest of the sport. And they're able to control their own little fiefdoms. And that's it. And it's a fact. What are you going to do? But in UFC, you can see what it looks like when it's done the right way. When somebody says, no, you got to fight somebody, you get good fights. And that's why their brand has grown enormously the way it has, the UFC. I mean, there's a reason for it, because they're putting good stuff on. They're putting a good product out there on a regular basis.
Yep.
So, and I'd say one other thing. The commentators, I had to jump into this a little bit, but the commentators, sometimes there's too much shilling going on in the boxing. I'm not going to point anybody specifically out, but man, there's too much shilling going on. Because you got the A against the B, and you know right away. You could close your eyes and you know who the house fighter is, because you hear the way the commentators are talking. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it's absurd. It really, like, I want to say to you, hey guys, you got any pride? I mean, come on. I mean, and I'm wondering about you guys. I feel bad. What do you don't notice, or you got cotton? A lot of cotton you put in your. I mean, sometimes it just gets too much. But the commentator, and sometimes the commentators in boxing are terrific. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, sometimes, boy, and the commentators with the UFC, there's no shilling, and they were making good points.
Yeah.
I mean, they were hitting. I mean, all commentators should make good points, but the truth is, you want to hear a little secret? They all don't. Sometimes they all don't. Sometimes I wonder how they make analysts up. You know, you're gonna watch the Super Bowl coming up, right? You're not gonna see a newspaper writer as a guy breaking down the offensive line blocking. Guarantee you.
For everyone's sake, it better be Tony Romo. That guy is the best. He's miles ahead of
But I'm
everyone.
saying, you're not going to see, like in boxing, you're not going to see a guy who's never coached, never fought, never trained. You're not going to see him telling you why a left's going to land, or how a trap's going to be set. Oh, well, look for counter versus, effective aggression. No, they're not going to insult you and tell. I mean, in football, they know they can't do that. You're going to have a coach. You're going to have somebody who's done it, somebody who's been in that area, somebody who should be breaking down the X's and O's. Not just, they have newspaper writers talking about what they're supposed to talk about on the sideline. Talking about how many fans are in the stands. I'm just saying, or whatever.
Of course.
But they insult the crap out of me. That boxing, the so-called honchos, they don't care. They don't care that there's nobody holding a standard. There's nobody demanding a standard to the fans, to the fighters. The fighters deserve better than that. I digress. I do that sometimes. But anyway, I appreciate the commentators, that there's not shilling with the UFC, that I do see them making points that you would hope that somebody that knows their craft would be there to make, and they are. They are, whether it's Rogan or the other guy, they're making proper points where they can add to the broadcast. of what, telling you what's going on.
One of the fighters you just mentioned.